Oenigheter i Novo Nordisk ägarstiftelse har lett till en extra stämma på fredag där en fullkomlig rockad i styrelsen föreslås. Och aktien är en av årets största förlorare och vi ställer oss frågan om det finns någon ljusning i sikte. Och med mig för att prata mer om Novo Nordisk har jag topprankade analytikern från Bernstein, Florent Cespedes. Welcome to EFM, Florent.
Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning. To give us some background, you have outperformed with a target of 540 Danish crowns and the stock trades at 320-ish. What do clients say and how confident are you in a positive performance from the company going forward?
Yeah, thanks, Kelly, for the question. Yeah, of course, the investor sentiment massively switched from last year very positive to this year pretty negative, I would say. Of course, the company is facing some challenges, but in our view, they should still deliver new products, innovation that should help to convince investors that they are not running out of steam. And also, they should re-energize the obesity market, in our view.
And to give us some background, for how long have you followed and covered this company?
Yeah, I've been covering this company for the last 25 years as lead or backup analyst. When I started to cover Novo Nordisk, it was a mid-sized specialty pharma company with a quite diversified portfolio. And now it's a much bigger stock with a strong focus on diabetes, of course, and also obesity.
And to summarize the latest that has happened for Novo Nordisk, maybe we should just talk some short words about it and say maybe that sales for the third quarter came in slightly lower than consensus estimates. And there was also a miss on operating profit. And then they lower the guidance once again. And there is the pricing situation that we have with the IRA. And the stock has underperformed and is down about 70% from the top last year. And now they also acquire the American company Akero Therapeutics for a bit over $5 billion. And they were fighting against Pfizer in a bidding war for Metsera for $10 billion, but they lost. And now the board is under a total transformation. It all seems rather messy from the outside. What do you say, Florent? Is the company in a total crisis?
Well, definitely the situation is difficult, to say the least, but it's not the first time a pharma company is facing some challenges. So now we need to execute and move forward. There is a new CEO, and as I said earlier, new products are coming, so innovation should help the company.
And what can we say on the board changes that are proposed and will be announced at the extra general meeting actually on Friday?
Yeah, so that's the board changes was a bit of a surprise to me. Well, it's always difficult to know what is going on behind the closing doors. It seems that according to what they say, they disagree with the foundation, not on the strategy, but more on the speed and on the scope of the changes. So that's still not a complete disaster. And what I could say as well is that at least the new CEO is fully supported by the board on the implementation of its strategy. So that's quite reassuring, I would say, even though we still need to see the new board members to come, potentially new ones next year as well.
Yeah, and is this what is needed to bring the company back on track?
I think it's part of the milestones needed. It's not only one event that will completely change the profile of the company. We need a certain number of milestones and strategic decisions to turn the big boat towards the right direction.
And could you maybe elaborate a bit on the Medicare pricing for the semaglutide-related products, especially with regards to IRAs, but also with regards to most favored nation?
Yeah, so definitely that was something expected for some time. What is interesting that when you look at the deal, you have lower prices for the Medicare and Medicaid segment, but interestingly, so it's around 30% versus the price you can get from NovoCare pharmacy. But what is really interesting in our view is that at the end of the day, Trump administration is offering the broadening of the access on the obesity products to Medicare, so the drugs for the elderly, and that's potentially a 30 million people additional potential for these products. So prices on one hand lower, volumes over the mid-long term should play a positive role.
And if we jump into M&A, there was this bidding war against Pfizer for the Metsera company without even a board in place. What does this say about Novo's own pipeline, according to you?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a lot of questions on this bidding war recently. So now it's over. But in our view, the obesity market will be much fragmented than people think. So that's the reason why, in our view, it really matters to have a broad portfolio. It was not necessarily a bad idea to add new oral products, more convenient drugs with a once monthly theoretically, and new mechanism of actions as well. So you need really different product profile to address the different buckets of the obesity market. So they lost this one, but it was not necessarily a bad idea to look for new assets.
And how competitive is Novo in comparison to Eli Lilly, would you say?
Yeah, as you know, Lilly is gaining market shares. Don't forget that they launched the second generation product in obesity when Novo pioneered with the GLP-1 only Z-bound. The Lilly product is a dual mechanism of action. So offers some competitive advantage. But the good news is Novo will continue to innovate by the end of this year. Oral semaglutide likely approval and launch. Then next year, CagriSema results at a trial versus Z-bound, and so on and so forth. There will be new data next year as well. So innovation will continue. In our view, Lilly should retain the leading position, but going forward, in our view, Novo should remain a meaningful player.
And do you expect Novo Nordisk to pursue another acquisition in the obesity segment?
M&A is part of it's business as usual for the pharma industry as a whole. So Novo will, of course, in my view, continue to look for acquisition to strengthen the portfolio and to maximize its offer towards people with obesity and diabetes or other cardiometabolic diseases.
And how should we view their entry in the liver disease MASH with the acquisition of Akero Therapeutics?
And that was a pretty smart move because, as you maybe know, they received last August the approval for Wegovy in MASH for the mild to severe patients, when the Akero acquisition offers a new product that should, in theory, address the more severe sufferer. So nice addition to the liver disease portfolio, in my view.
And when we come back to Alzheimer's, for example, there is little to no hope for Evoke. And what would you say? Data is expected any day and will be presented later this year at the CTAD conference. But it's been 8 weeks since last visit. Shouldn't data be disclosed by now?
Yeah, as soon as they have the data in-house, they have to send a press release. So, which means that if there is nothing right now, that the data is not available yet. So we have to be patient. Should be by the end of the year. It's definitely high risk, high reward. Market expectations are very low, but if there is a signal, even on a group population, that should be quite encouraging. But of course, to get the full approval, they need a positive trial. It will be interesting to look at the data.
Many thanks, Florent, for joining us here at EFN. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kelly.